Joining us. This is News at 10. I'm Muhammad Amin Carlos, and making the headlines tonight. Well, Sulong program helps B40 youths further studies. Well, new SPM schedule for COVID positive candidates. Well, Prime Minister Dato Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob today praised the Ministry of Higher Education's or MOHE's initiative in introducing the Siswa Sulong Keluarga Malaysia Development Program, known as Sulong. Well, the program, which focuses on helping eldest siblings of B40 families to pursue higher studies, is unique, as the students would be given special admission to public universities, scholarships, hostel and mentoring until they secure a job.
Kerajaan mengetengahkan nilai kebersamaan menerusi konsep keluarga Malaysia, dan dalam konteks pengajian tinggi, nilai ini diterjemahkan menerusi pelbagai bentuk inisiatif. Ia bagi memastikan akses kepada pendidikan tinggi dapat dirasai oleh semua masyarakat, terutamanya dalam keluarga, dalam kalangan keluarga B40.
Well, apart from providing facilities such as universities, polytechnics and community colleges, the government is also doing its best to ensure that the students can pursue their studies more comfortably. In a related development, over 30 universities as well as relevant agencies and departments opened booths for the Keluarga Malaysia MOHE Carnival. Higher Education Minister Dato Sri Dr. Noraini Ahmad said this was a manifestation of the government's efforts and commitment towards fulfilling the needs of the rakyat.
Ini juga termasuklah semakan syarat khas kemasukan ke semua IPT dan ILKA, program-program pengajian yang ditawarkan, panduan permohonan serta khidmat bimbingan dan kaunseling pendidikan. Kita ada juga untuk makluman semua para hadirin menyediakan kaunter khas berkaitan dengan maklumat pembayaran pengajian oleh bahagian beasiswa PPT dan juga Perbadanan Tabung Pendidikan Tinggi Nasional.
She further explained that youths should take this opportunity to visit these booths, which offer information, guides, consultation and even study loans to those interested in pursuing higher studies. The program also offered career exhibitions such as My Future Jobs, with the cooperation of the Social Security Organization and 15 companies from various industries and economic sectors, offering 3,000 job opportunities. Well, the Ministry of Health, the MOH, has been given 2 to 3 weeks to come up with an SOP on the reopening of the country's borders and table it to the Cabinet. The SOP is vital for the government to make the right decision on whether to reopen the borders or otherwise.
Jangan lupa, ramai lagi yang masih mengatakan bahawa kajian perlu membuat intervensi dalam perkara ini, terutamanya melibatkan SOP dan sebagainya, masih perlu diperketat kerana takut jangkitan. Itu di dalam negara kita yang memang kita kontrol. Tapi yang datang daripada luar, yang datang daripada negara luar, yang kita tak tahu bagaimana kawalan di negara mereka sendiri. Jadi ini juga membimbangkan setengah masyarakat kita.
On another note, Dato Sri Ismail Sabri said the proposal to create a special lane for voters working in Singapore to come back and vote during the upcoming Johor state election depends on discussions between the Election Commission and Health Ministry and also approval from the Singaporean government.
Kalau ikutkan kita, of course lah, rakyat kita dari segi demokrasinya, setiap rakyat berhak untuk mengundi. Tapi kalau pintu ditutup, border ditutup kerana alasan kesihatan dan sebagainya, dan Singapura ada mempunyai peraturan-peraturan tertentu, yang menyukarkan rakyat kita balik, maka kita terpaksa patuh kepada Singapura juga.
The Education Ministry, the MOE, will discuss with the Election Commission to minimize the usage of secondary schools as polling stations for the upcoming Johor state election. Its senior minister, Dato Dr. Rasmi said this was crucial as to avoid any disruption to preparations for the Sijil Pelajaran Malaysia, that's the SPM examinations.
Kalau digunakan sekalipun, tidak digunakan bilik-bilik yang akan digunakan untuk peperiksaan. Kerana bilik-bilik ini telah disusun oleh pihak sekolah, oleh guru-guru, diketuai oleh setiausaha peperiksaan, telah disusun mengikut indeks nama murid, angka giliran dan sebagainya, dan sebarang gangguan kepada susunan ataupun aturan tersebut boleh memberi satu implikasi yang besar.
He further expressed hopes that teachers appointed as invigilators for the SPM examinations can be exempted from working in the state election. A total of 151 secondary schools will be used as polling stations for the upcoming 15th Johor state election. On another note, Dato Dr. Rasmi said SPM candidates who have tested positive for COVID-19 or are in quarantine do not need to sit for the examination on the day it's held. Well, instead, they will be given a new date which will be announced in the future.
Sebenarnya dalam pelaksanaan SPM untuk kohort 2020, kita dah ada SOP lengkap, ya. Kalau calon itu positif, kena dikuarantinkan, maka mereka ini tidak perlu menduduki peperiksaan, tetapi mereka akan menduduki peperiksaan dalam tarikh atau pada tarikh yang akan ditetapkan kemudian. Ya, untuk anak-anak di luar sana, sekiranya na'udzubillah, jika positif, maka mereka tidak perlu menduduki peperiksaan pada hari tersebut, waktu di kuarantin tak duduk peperiksaan, tapi akan ada second sitting untuk SPM bagi membolehkan calon-calon ini dapat menduduki peperiksaan.
Well, furthermore, this directive will also be extended to SPM candidates who are close contacts with positive cases and need to undergo quarantine. Well, candidates will, however, need to provide a verification from the Health Ministry. The Ministry of Transport, the MOT, will be consulting the Australian Transport Safety Bureau, or ATSB, on their review of documents produced by British aeronautical engineer Richard Godfrey, which assert new leads in the search of the missing MH370 aircraft. Well, the ministry in a statement today said they acknowledge that ATSB was currently reviewing the documents put forward by Godfrey, but unable to comment on the validity of his assessments without a third-party review and verification. So according to the statement, any further discussions with the governments of China and Australia will be held based on credible evidence, which can lead to results in any new search for the aircraft which disappeared on 8th March 2014. It further said the ministry remains sympathetic to the family members of the victims and views that careful consideration and study should be given to any new credible evidence which may be put forth. ATSB, meanwhile, said that the findings of the review are expected to be released in the next few weeks, while stating that any decision to conduct further researches for MH370 would be a matter for the Malaysian government and that the ATSB was not aware of any requests to support a new search. Coming up, national exports remain solid with double-digit growth. Well, the national exports performance remains solid with a recorded growth of 23.5% to 110.73 billion ringgit in January. Well, this was the sixth consecutive month which recorded double-digit growth since August 2021. Well, according to Senior International Trade and Industry Minister Dato Sri Muhammad Azmin Ali, the encouraging growth in exports can be attributed to the rising global demand, especially for electric and electronic items, as well as palm oil and palm-based products. Now, main exports comprise of electric and electronics, petroleum products, chemicals and substances, each recording an increase of over 1 billion ringgit. Meanwhile, imports increased 26.4% to 92.32 billion ringgit, bolstered by increasing demands for intermediate goods, capital goods and consumption goods. Overall, the country's trade value last month remained competitive with a 24.8% growth to 203.05 billion ringgit compared to in January 2021. The polemic surrounding issues relating to Digital Nasional Berhad or DNB will be resolved with haste as to ensure the smooth implementation of works for national 5G services. Well, towards this, Communications and Multimedia Minister Tan Sri Anwar Musa said his ministry, or KKMM, and the Finance Ministry, the MOF, will table the Cabinet Minister's memorandum next month.
Sekarang ini tentang kedudukan DNB dan status single wholesale network yang menjadi debate dan polemik akan perlu diselesaikan segera pada awal bulan Mac, kerana pada awal bulan Mac Kementerian dan Kementerian Kewangan akan membentangkan satu kertas jemaah menteri pada minggu pertama bulan Mac untuk menyelesaikan once and for all isu-isu yang berkaitan dengan polemik single wholesale network or dual wholesale network system, kerana dia kalau dibiarkan berlarutan dia akan menjejaskan program roll out 5G, dan roll out 5G adalah key factor kepada program blueprint pelaksanaan blueprint My Digital ataupun Malaysia Digital.
On a related note, he commented that the National Digital Network Plan, or JNDELA, is proceeding as per schedule. The number of premises for the Point of Presence program, targeting 9 million homes, is fast approaching 7 million premises and is expected to reach 100% by the year 2023. Well, 6 individuals, including a couple, were arrested in 2 separate operations in Selangor last Monday for alleged involvement in drug trafficking. Also seized were drugs estimated to be worth more than $500,000 ringgit. According to Selangor Narcotics Criminal Investigation Department NCID Chief ACP Ahmad Jafari Abdullah, they arrested the 6, including an Indonesian illegal immigrant, in raids conducted in Jenjarum, Kuala Langat and Bukit Tinggi, Klang.
Hasil daripada pemeriksaan di dalam rumah tersebut telah berjaya menahan 1 lagi orang lelaki India beserta dengan 1 lelaki Indonesia, di mana hasil pemeriksaan telah menjumpai sebanyak 3,616 gram ataupun bersamaan lebih kurang 8 paun dadah jenis heroin, dan juga 5,080 gram pil ekstasi bersamaan lebih kurang 16,000 biji.
The total value of drugs seized in the 2 cases was 521,263 ringgit, apart from 2 cars and jewelry worth 80,350 ringgit. He said all the suspects were remanded for 7 days from 15 to 21st February, and the case was investigated under Section 39B of the Dangerous Drugs Act 1952. Well, meanwhile, in Kuala Lumpur, another couple was also arrested for this same offence. It was believed that apart from drug distribution, the couple was also involved in the drug-making process itself. Well, the couple's activities were uncovered after they were arrested by police in possession of 10 slabs of ganja in a public place. And following their arrest, police raided their apartment in the city and seized ganja weighing 232 kilograms and several drug processing machines.
Siasat telah membuat serbuan yang kedua, iaitu di sebuah pansemburi di sekitar Kuala Lumpur, dan hasil pemeriksaan di rumah tersebut telah membuat rampasan sebanyak 234 ketulan mampat seberat 232 kilo dadah jenis ganja dan beberapa peralatan mesin, iaitu seperti mesin pengisar, mesin pembuat tablet, beberapa bungkusan bahan untuk memproses dadah.
Further investigations reveal that the couple had been conducting their business online. Now, they are currently being remanded for 7 days under Section 39B of the Dangerous Drugs Act 1952. Well, renowned preacher Abid Irawan Ibrahim Liu, or better known as Abid Liu, was charged in the Sabah Magistrates Court today on 11 charges in connection with sexual harassment. The 38-year-old, however, pleaded not guilty to all the charges which were read to him before Magistrate Nur Ashraf Zolhani. Well, Abid was charged with sending obscene pictures and words with the intention of insulting a person's modesty through WhatsApp between March and June last year. Now, the offence was committed in several locations in Sabah and Peninsular Malaysia, with all the charges framed under Section 509 of the Penal Code, which carries a sentence of up to 5 years imprisonment or a fine or both upon conviction. Magistrate Nur Ashraf set 20th until 23rd April as the time period for handing over the documents. He also set the date for tentative trials in June. Meanwhile, Abid was bailed with 1,000 ringgit for each charge with 2 sureties. Well, that concludes this evening's News at 10. In our top story, Sulong program helps B40 youths further studies. Join us again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. I'm Muhammad Amin Carlos, and stay tuned to Saluran Berita RTM and have a pleasant evening.